Dogecoin came down and filled my limit order, my second target sitting at 12743. The previous bottom over here actually wasn't the perfect previous bottom, but if you go to the 4 hour time frame, I was in the 1 hour time frame. If you go to the 4 hour, that's where the bodies ended. So I had my limit order set there. I was thinking we could come down, fill that limit order. Hopefully we can get a bounce, but it looks like we went further down. But that's something that I also want to talk about. Like I was saying, this wasn't perfectly the bottom. So let's go ahead and do a horizontal line exactly where that wick went down. And what we're looking at is 12292. And we came down, we wicked down, and it seems like we're getting a little bounce. If we go to the 5 minute time frame, just to kind of really zoom in, right now we're on the 4 hour time frame. It looks like we got a little bounce, but there's also some other things that I'm looking at. Watch, check it out. So let's go back to like the 1 hour time frame, or even maybe the 4 hour. Yeah, let's go to the 1 hour, and let's zoom in right here, because we had resistance, 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 and we had support, support. So let's draw some trend lines with those spots right there. So we have a downtrend like this, and then we have a kind of support line like that. This kind of looks like a bull pennant, kind of, because we have this big drop, and then we come down, get consolidation, and then we break to the downside. So what we could do is drag from the bottom. Let's see. Where would we do this? Maybe we would definitely start from that side, and then maybe go, I would say something like this. It's not really perfect. It wicked all the way up to right here, so maybe, I don't know, you could argue some different spots. It's just going to be a bigger target or smaller target. Like let's say we did all the way up here and do something like that, drag that to the breakout, looking at a target of around 1179, which also, I don't know, it seems like we're getting closer. If we start breaking this green line right here, then I'm going to be looking at maybe 11421 for support, maybe the 78% level on this Fibonacci retracement chart that I have, from the bottom of the chart to the top of the bottom of the trend to the top of the trend. Get the Fibonacci retracement tool, drag from the bottom to the top, and that's where I get that level from. And those levels are good for possible bounces. But the other thing that I was looking at, let's go to the daily time frame. Let's see. I was also looking at this bear flag. Possibly we had resistance, resistance, and support. We did get support right here, but it didn't last, and it just broke to the downside. And I was just looking at that bottom as just like a horizontal, I don't know, just a level that we needed to, that could have held support. It was, like I said, it was holding support, and then we broke to the downside. But anyways, we had another bear flag, something like this. So this, from the top to the bottom over here, dragging this to the breakout, the pull, dragging this to the breakout, that puts us around 10 cents. So this is another kind of target that I've been kind of looking at. This was my last limit order. I think the next place, I'm not sure where my next limit order would be. I don't really, I'm not going to put one quite yet, but I think 10 cents might be on the table. So yeah, I think, yeah, maybe we'll get a bounce now though. The other thing I guess I wanted to bring out that green line was is because I'm curious if we're going to get a bounce right here. But if we go to the 5 minute time frame too, which is kind of interesting, because which brings me to the next point, I guess, is the 5 minute time frame. We had that bounce right at that green line going to the upside. It actually went a little bit lower though. It went all the way down to around 12156. So it's possible that even if it does break down, maybe it'll come down here and get support. But what I was going to say is we have support, 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 resistance, resistance, resistance. I was thinking of using this one going out like that, and then, because it's more recent, and then something like that, or maybe even something like this. But this also looks like a little bear flag. We got a big, or a pennant, should I say. We got a big drop down, and then consolidation. If we break this going to the downside with some volume, and actually you can see there's a big spike in volume, and then declining volume. If we get some big volume right there, then we could be looking at a target from the top to the bottom of the pole, drag this to the breakout, looking at a target of around, that takes you perfectly down to the Fibonacci level, sitting at around .1147. The actual Fibonacci retracement level is, let's see, so because that might be the next place that that might be the next place that it bounces if the green line doesn't hold. .11421 is the Fibonacci retracement. So that's very close to that. But yeah, let's see if the green line will hold though. Let's go back to the 5 minute. Let's go back to the 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this. It does look like it's breaking it, but let's see. Yeah, it does look like it's going to the downside. Let's see if the volume comes in, and let's see if it breaks this bottom level sitting at, we can duplicate this because that's the first one, but this is the new one. This is the new one. This is the old one. So yeah, let's see if we could get a bounce on either one of those green lines. And then, yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. If not, then we're looking at the next, I would say maybe Fibonacci retracement sitting at around .1147. There's also this one at 1179, but I'd be looking more at the Fibonacci retracement level, I think. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It'd be nice if we got a bounce on one of these green lines, but yeah, let's see what happens. Also, 10 cents is in play too. Like I was saying on the daily time frame, 10 cents is totally in play. Let me go ahead and delete this, and let's take a look at the moving average real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Let's see. Let me delete some of this stuff, and let's see. Okay, so like I've been talking about, let's go ahead and, yeah, let's just keep those green lines. The moving average coming in like this. We broke below it. If we are below it, it's probably going to give us resistance and we're going to go to the downside. It's bearish. But once we break it, going to the upside, then we can use it as support sometimes. And it'll take us, we'll bounce on it, and it's bullish to be on top of it as opposed to being below it. But what we want to watch for is the moving average to get close to the price. Right now we're just getting further and further away from it. That's basically my point, is that I've been talking about this too, is we want to be, that moving average wants to be, you want to be closer to the moving average than farther away from it, because if you're closer to it, then it's easier to break through it, just like this trend line as well. Like, look out, we're actually moving farther away from the trend line, so it's going to take us a little bit longer. Like, we're not testing it as much. When we were over here, we were like kind of getting closer to it, and it was looking like we're about to test it, but now it looks like we're just kind of getting away from this trend line. We're kind of moving away from that. We're getting farther away from the moving average, so it might take a little bit longer, I guess, is the point. And I guess we can do a downtrend. Let's go ahead and we could just move this trend line because we don't really need that one too much anymore, or for right now anyways. And we could look at something like this on the daily as well, where we have that trend line, and then let's go back to the 4 hour, maybe adjust it on the 4 hour, something like that. If we could break this trend line, then maybe things will, at least will bounce in the Fibonacci retracement levels or something like that. That's what I would be kind of thinking. And I think I've been watching this level anyways. So yeah, let's see what happens with these green lines though. I think that about covers it though. So let me know what you guys think, and check out the last video if you want, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.